Ciao and welcome back to Pasta More, Pasta with Love. I'm Chef Joe Mele and welcome back to our next version of specialty pastas, filled versions. So today we're going to focus on one recipe. We're not going to do several types of shapes and styles of pasta today. We're going to focus on one type only because it's a little labor intensive. I want you to get all of it. And we're going to do a simple sauce to accompany that. Okay, what am I talking about today? Rotolo di Pasta. Think about it, Rotolo. It sounds like roll. It is rolled. All right. It is a roulade. All right, a filled pasta that is taking our pasta sheets, our sfoglias, filling it with a cheese spinach filling, layered with arugula, layered with prosciutto, rolled up, wrapped, plastic wrap, wrapped in foil, and then poached until it's firmed up. Pasta's cooked, filling's cooked. We're going to let that rest. We're going to chill it overnight. Then, when it's nice and firm, we're going to slice it. We're going to reheat the slices. We're going to top it with a very, very simple tomato concass, which is a fresh tomato. All the seeds, the skin has been removed. We chop it fine, saute it with some garlic, some shallots, some crushed red pepper, a little olive oil, some basil, and that's going to be the topping for our finished Rotolo di Pasta. Also, we're going to put that on top of a velvety cream sauce. Sprinkle some Parmesan over it, brown it under the broiler, and serve it. Fantastico. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead because remember those sheets that we made in our machine over here, right? So we're going right to the sheets. I take two of those sheets because we're going to have to knit these together to make one nice big sheet. All right, so how do we do that? I have one sheet, I have two. Now, we're going to take a little water, okay, and we're going to put on the edge of one of the sheets, and we're just going to overlap the other one right on top, press it in place, and kind of fuse it together to make one. Okay. Make sure always you have a little bit of semolina, a little flour underneath so that your dough doesn't stick to your board, okay? All right, so step one, right? Fuse your pasta sheets together. Così. All right, so we have one sheet now. I'm going to turn that over. Pinch it a little bit on the other side just to make sure we got a good seal. All right, and I'm going to then sprinkle a little bit of semolina underneath just so we are assured that when it comes time to roll, it'll move freely. All right, so now for the filling. Okay? Still got plenty of that cheese and spinach filling. So we're going to fill most of the center with our filling. Okay. Now, we can just dot it at first and then we can spread it. So I'm just going to put a bunch of dots of the ricotta. Then we can go back, fill in the holes. All right, so now we're just going to spread. Okay, we want to leave a little border, so I'm going to spread this out. And really, the firmer the filling for this one, the better. So make sure you got your ricotta, your Parmesan, your mozzarella, all inside, nice and cheesy. Don't forget now, by the time we roll this up, it's going to be rather thick, so we want to kind of spread our filling thinly. Start from the middle, push out, and you want to leave yourself an edge, like I said. Because I'm not worried about any excess dough on the outside, because that'll all get trimmed later on. Alright, so we have a nice square filling in the middle. Okay, so here's our first set of filling, and we're going to take some arugula, raw arugula, okay, just right out of the package. I love arugula. I love that peppery, little bit of bitter flavor to it. There's a lot more nuances in the flavors rather than just spinach. So, plus it's going to give us some nice beautiful color. When this is all unrolled, you're going to see the white, the green, and then the pink from the prosciutto. Alright, so we just press that in place, a così. Now, what do we do next? Last layer is your prosciutto. It's really good if you can get it all layered out like this on a piece of parchment. So, all we have to do is flip over like that. So, now we have our cheese filling, our arugula, our prosciutto. All right, we're going to moisten our edges. Okay, so we get a good seal on both sides here. All right. So now we're going to take from one end, and here's the part of the key to this rotolo is getting it nice and tight. Okay, so we got a little bit left over, so we're able to pick this up. Okay, and we're gonna take and we're gonna tuck. Okay, and we're gonna tuck and roll, and we're gonna make a nice, pull this forward again, pat this down, and rotate right over, right over, right over. Okay, all the way down. Okay, till it meets our other dough, and then we can kind of pinch that dough together. Okay, so you can see already kind of like what's going to happen here. All right, so now we have this beautiful log. Okay, bellissima. And I'm going to maybe take and just trim up the ends a little bit here on both sides. Okay. Now what do I do next? You see this roll of film wrap I have right here, okay? I'm going to pull it out, rest my roulade right in the middle, okay? And now nice and tight, again nice and tight. So, this is going to go, not just like this in the water, I have one more step, okay? The magic is going to happen when I take our foil, okay? Actually, I'm going to go this way a little longer. Okay, so we have some overhang here, okay? Maybe 2 inches on either side, 2 or 3 inches. Right? And now we're going to, again, tight, 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 because this foil is the key to shaping our pasta roulade. We're going to twist our ends, okay? Look at, you can see it's tightening up and it's going to form like a cylinder. So you can squeeze a little bit, okay? And the more you tighten down these ends like this, the tighter your roulade comes in the center. So you have a really round, perfectly round cylinder, okay? And we can even crank that down a little bit more and push in. Okay? So what happens now? Very simple. This is going to go into our poaching water here. Now make sure your pot is big enough to fit this. I didn't even measure the pot today. Let's hope we're good. Perfecto. All right, submerge. Let it cook about 30 minutes. Simmering water, okay? Simmering water, this is gonna cook the pasta. It's gonna, really the cheese inside is gonna cook and it's gonna melt and it's gonna fuse and the arugula is gonna wilt down and it's gonna be all one combined flavor at the end. All right, so I'm gonna move this, okay? Now, I have one that's already finished. I want to unwrap it, okay? Because the key now, this has got to simmer 20-30 minutes, like I said. This would then come out of the water onto a rack. Let it cool, let it drip into the fridge overnight, preferably. Firm up, all right? And then that will bring us right to where I'm at right now. So, I have one, nice and firmed up, finished, okay? Let's unroll this baby. Okay, don't forget you have your plastic wrap on here too, okay? And it doesn't melt, it just like fuses to the dough and it kind of holds in the heat, steams it. So much so that we'll probably have to cut it open because the ends sometimes fuse together. So let's just do this. All right, so plastic wrap gone. This is our finished product. All right, this is 1 day later, chilled up, okay? Stay. All right, so what we would do now, first I'm going to start on the end and trim. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so now that's just the end. You can see you've got your cheese filling, your arugula, your prosciutto, all right? So we usually serve this maybe about 3 slices per an order. I'm going to take and set these. I'm going to leave the end there. And I'm going to slice uno. E due. Three. Now, first of all, this hasn't even been heated yet, all right? So that's our roulade, still cold, okay? I'm gonna put that back together. Okay, now, how would I go about reheating that? I have my broiler on, okay? I usually will take and put it on the low setting in the oven, and I'll reheat this. I'm not quite ready yet because I want to talk about the sauce that's going to finish this. Okay, so what do we have here? We have our fresh tomatoes, chopped, seeded, peeled, okay? Garlic and shallots combined. Basil, Parmigiano at the end, crushed red pepperoncino, olive oil, and a little salt. Okay, so the order in which these go in, we're going to heat up our olive oil, obviously. Don't be afraid. Extra virgin. It's take a look at our doing nicely. Okay. All right, so going to heat up the olive oil. Next is going to go in our aromatics. Always oil, aromatics, then your main ingredient, okay? Then your flavorings. So this is also one of those quick sauces. So what's going to happen here is I also have some beautiful cream sauce. Okay? This is going to go over our roulade. And we're going to take our finished tomato concasse. It's going to go down the center. Right? I'm going to sprinkle a little Parmigiano back under the broiler. It's going to get a little browned. Okay? And that's it. That's serving. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to mask all these beautiful ingredients that we have here. Okay. So we got some heat. First thing we're going to do is add some of our garlic and shallots. Let those start cooking. And by the way, the word concasse is a French term, obviously, means rough chop. How do we achieve this? Right, so earlier on, in the interest of time, I took fresh tomatoes, took out the core, turned the other side around, put an X in the bottom of the tomato, just scored it, plunged it into boiling water for like a minute maybe, minute 30 seconds. Took those tomatoes, plunged them into ice water, stopped the cooking, picked them up out of the water, all of a sudden the peel just peels right off. Okay, part one. Part two, cut the tomato in half, open it up, and you can literally squeeze the seeds out of it. Okay, when the seeds and the skin are gone, I take my tomato, put it on the board, and I chop it up. Rough chop. That's concasse means rough chop. Okay? So the French are helping us out a little bit with our Italian dish. Alright, so we're getting a little sizzle over here in our garlic and our shallots. If you could smell that aroma, just two ingredients like that just excite me to no end. Those of you that cook will know what I'm talking about. Garlic, shallots are so pungent, so aromatic. And sometimes you don't need anything else. A little salt and it's good to go. Alright, so now I'm going to add my pomodoro in here. And this again, we don't have to cook this for, this is like, you'll see, 10-minute sauce maybe. And this can all be done ahead of time, and then you can finish this a la minute. All right, so I'm going to put a little salt in our pomodoro, some basil, some basilico, okay, crushed red pepper, pepperoncino, give it a toss, and of course the next thing is give it a taste. Momento. Niñas y señoras. So simple yet so fresh. Go on. Alright, I'm gonna shut off my heat. Pretty much right where I want it to be. Okay? I'm going to pop this under. Momento. Get ready my Parmigiano. All right. Check our roulade. It's firming up nicely. So, I have here a wire rack over a pan. just to let this drain when it comes out. Let it sit here, you know, leave it here for like an hour after it comes out. Then, usually what happens is now the foil that's on there and the film, the pasta is going to shrink a little bit, okay, from cooking. So I take and after it's cooled a little bit, I twist it down again to keep it nice and tight so that when it goes in the fridge overnight, firms up really, really nice, okay? All right, so that's good. Charlie wants to see too. All right. So I had this out like at room temperature, so I don't need to get this like smoking hot, okay? Just the heat of the broiler is going to bring everything back. Everything's cooked in here. So you really don't need to like get this, you know, like 300 degrees. All right. Usually you'll see the cheese starts to release a little bit. Okay, got a little heat. Now, I'm going to take and put some of our velvety, and all this is right here, I took some heavy cream, a little salt and pepper, I put it on the stove and I reduced it. Okay? Now I'm going to take a little bit of my tomate concasse, little Parmigiano, and back under the broiler. Just for a momento. And pretty soon we'll be able to have some lunch. So I took my time today with this one recipe just because I felt that maybe so many of the other ones there was so much information and it was hard to gather it all. So let's focus on one item, let's get it right, let's get it good. Still using the fresh pasta, right? All right, I'm hearing crackling. I'm getting a little bit of browning going on under here. Momento more. So, yes, it is involved a little bit, but if you take it step by step, it's really, really not difficult. Okay, all you need is the confidence to jump in and do it, right? And don't forget, I'm right here if you need me. Okay, give me a shout out, and I'll help you through it. Okay, so here's what we need. So, wouldn't this make a great appetizer, right? You want to impress your friends, have a dinner party, serve this as an appetizer, first course, or a luncheon course, all right? It's going to be satisfying, it's different, right? And the flavors, unbelievable. Let me get some of that tomato. Oh my God. That arugula. And then the prosciutto kicks in, and then the tomato kicks in, the cream sauce mellows it out. Parmigiano brings it back a little sharp again. Amazing. You have to try this. That's all there is to it. Okay? Next week, we'll do something else. Equally as good, but for now I'm going to enjoy this. Okay? Ciao, ciao, everybody. Hope you had a good time.